the man behind the hustle and grind. This is pride, courage, determination, and perseverance. Welcome to No Looks Given. All right, and just like that, welcome back to the No Looks Given podcast. My name is Danny Keith, and I got my co-host in the building.
Yo. What's happening?
He did it again.
Brother Luck.
Yo, he did it again.
No, man, it's been one of those days,
My
man.
co-host, Brother Luck, Lucky Brother in the building. And we're back on the No Looks Given podcast. Man, this is episode 22 that's going to be released. If you're watching this live, it'll be live potentially tomorrow morning. I'm praying, if we can knock this stuff out. But thank you, for being here. If you're listening through Spotify, Apple is getting a lot of listens, Apple Podcasts, and then you could check out the video version on YouTube. That's Chef Brother Luck's YouTube. And if you're an exclusive member, on Team Luck, you can hop on Patreon. That's our subscription, and we're gonna start doing some exclusive content with Brother Luck and myself here in the studio. Just like we mentioned, we'll do a walkthrough here coming for this next month, one of the content. And I just kind of want to open there, brother. Before we begin, I always like to check in with you. I always like to check in with you. How you doing, brother? How's your week?
No, so Data's laughing because he's been here for the last couple hours.
Oh my god!
And he's watched me go from 10
looking
to 20
like a mobster
to 50 back down to 1.
I've been
going pretty hard.
Being an owner, and then having to deal with a lot of stuff, and at the same time, I do want to check in with you. How was Chicago? I know you went on the trip.
Man,
what I'm saying? I want to check out. What'd you do in Chicago?
Nah, man. I love Chicago. Chicago is one of my favorite cities. I used to live out there and work out there. And
I love you,
Chicago
bro.
was great, man. I got to see my good friend Joe Flam. Got to give him a big hug. Love seeing Joe Flam. And then we went to Jenner Tomasco's new restaurant, Esme, which was phenomenal. My goodness. That man
good.
has figured out such a cool way to do a chef's tasting menu. And the way he brought art into the food and into the experience was just amazing. I've always been a fan of his stuff. But to actually get the chance to buy tickets and support him and his wife going for it, starting their own business.
Hey, salute to that.
Absolutely so special. So, and
plug the name again, because Esme.
Chicago.
All right. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah. So that was a great trip. It was quick. I was only there for a day and a half. I got in one night and I was gone the next day. But we had some fun. It was cool. It was a great trip. And now here we are a week later. Life is full speed. We got both restaurants extremely busy, always trying to constantly, the restaurant industry is hard, so it's always trying to fix things here and train things here and teach and grow and develop and lead and mentor and all that good stuff. So, that's kind of going on. Aspen Food and Wine Weekend's coming up this weekend.
Hey,
so,
I love it.
Looking forward to seeing so many fans, so many people that support us. I'll be up there. Let's see, I get up there Thursday night, so I'll be up there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're really excited about that. And in the meantime, just trying to get some more stuff done before I leave.
So you said Aspen is Thursday, is that right?
Starts Friday officially, but I'm gonna head up Thursday.
Okay, I'm
cooking on Friday in the main tent, so I'm gonna be working with Woody Creek. So
very nice.
We've got 2 dishes. I got this beautiful smoked lamb dish I'm gonna be doing. Mary raises our lamb. I love that.
Yep.
So she dropped me off a whole lamb this morning, so I'm going to smoke
Mary
that.
Had a little lamb?
Yeah.
Is that the play on that?
I'm going to smoke that lamb.
It took me a minute.
That's her real name.
I had to really think about it.
I move fast, bro. I move fast.
Well, so, I had to think about my son. My son sings that type of stuff.
So so we got that going on, and then I'm gonna do a dirty rice with an apple pico de gallo, which I think is gonna be really cool. So
that's dope. You got a week full, and your day is full. And then I heard you went golfing and you played well. I gotta plug that in, man.
Yeah, my golf game's nasty.
Because I heard
you need
Joe,
a ringer,
Joe, if you're out there, I heard you lost. I heard you lost.
If the people are starting to figure out this season during tournaments that I can actually swing a stick. So
hey,
I'm getting the invites. I'm getting the invites as
good
one
for
of
you.
the.
Hey, if you got an extra, you know what I'm saying, I'm coming along.
Yes, I ain't mad at it. Golf keeps me sane.
And if y'all watching right now, y'all one of the members to the private clubs, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get in. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Look, I do want to make sure I plug this in because it was pretty dope. You know, I know you're on the news all the time, but I had a little segment on the news this morning. You know what I'm saying? I was on the news this morning over down in Fountain. I work at a studio, so I'm gonna plug them. And just because I'm plugging them real quick, I'm gonna make sure I plug No Less Given on their next podcast.
Okay. I mean, you still ain't invited me to be a guest
on the podcast down there. Oh man, you's definitely welcome to be a guest for sure. But look, I do another podcast at any rate. I'm gonna plug No Lux Given in their podcast, but the other one I do is called Between the Sheets with Leah. So I work with a photographer in a boudoir suite. So it's like a boudoir studio. It's like women, you know, it's confidence builder, self-love, that type of thing. Yeah. And I have the honor of working with her, you know, shooting over the shoulder. You know, I shoot video while she shoots photo. And so long story short, we were promoting, you know, the studio today, and they had like an hour segment, and they were just in the studio. They, you know, the young lady went through a full experience. That's so cool. It was kind of dope, you know what I'm saying? And I really think, you know, as much as this podcast has taught me that I love doing film and I love filming and editing. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I'm a star in front of the camera. I feel real comfortable in front of the camera, man.
You are a personality, bro. That's for sure.
All right. I do want to make sure that we execute this podcast because I've been waiting to do this particular episode for a while, and I'm catching brother off guard because he doesn't really know what's coming.
I don't ever know what's coming.
But you know, it's our founding principles are perseverance, courage, determination, and pride. You know what I'm saying? And I think perseverance is pretty prevalent right now. I think we could talk about just in regards to business and life. You know, we're all going through, you know, our own things that we're dealing with, you know, with a world crisis on top of, you know, our own family things, like, and then our personal and then our business, right? Yeah. So perseverance is pretty big, but I kind of want to go through a couple of these stories that I've had written down. I heard you take random mulligans when you play Dana. That's hilarious. And then we got a whole ass personality. Yeah, I am a whole ass personality for sure. But I got these stories, man, that I kind of want to just pick at if it's fair, okay? Yeah. And we've went through, and I know you're writing your book, so I think this is probably good for also Marcus, who's been looking for content from you.
I owe him a call.
Which, you know, Marcus, we got a meeting set up for Friday, you heard. At any rate, and shout out Jules. Jules, I see you. We got a meeting Friday as well. You see I'm booked up. I'm booked up, bro. I'm booked up. But look, I want to go through these topics because I think that, you know, we were talking about your book. It's founded on faith, food, and family. Yep. So I want to run through these briefly, you know, and I want you to tell us the importance of these things to you. All right. And it's kind of like, you know, round robin, if you will. I'm just going to go straight to these topics.
I love how you and Marcus trying to play me. I like it.
No. Marcus,
he's smart.
Marcus, I just made this up. This has nothing to do with Marcus. Okay. But I know Friday I'm meeting with him and he wants some stuff and I got so much stuff. It's like, look, man, once I get in the thick of things for the documentary, I think I'll have a better place to like show him, which, you know, October is looking pretty good for that. But let's go through these lists, okay? And I'm going to ramble real quick, but if it's fair with you, let's do it. All right. So let's start with dress shoes. When you think of dress shoes, what does dress shoes mean to you?
When I think of dress shoes, dress shoes remind me of church. Yeah. Being that little, you know, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, grandma's telling you to get ready. You got to put on your dress shoes. You got to get ready for church. And, you know, getting all decked up and getting all situated to go to church is always is something I think of when I put on dress shoes. I love it. It's once a week that you got to get ready, and I don't know. It's just a shift in mindset. And I think as an adult, as a professional, I think when you put on dress shoes as a grown up, you shift a mindset big time.
I like that. I felt that today because I sure as hell did get dressed. All right, next one. Music and messages.
Music is an escape from reality, and I think the thoughts people are able to put down with a pen, it really has the ability to help you through whatever you're going through, whether it's finding some type of relatability or it's connecting or just not feeling alone. I feel like when you listen to music, certain things hit you a certain way.
I love it.
And, it's not just the music or the artist writing the music. It's also the production. It's also the producer putting the beats together and making the vibe feel the way it does.
I love that. I'm going to go into this one as well. Embracing your own story, God's humor is what I have written down.
Man, my worst times in life are usually followed by my greatest. And I think that's God's humor.
The Bay Bridge is falling.
I grew up in the Bay. Used to cross that bridge all the time. And, when I wrote that as a topic for a chapter, I really feel like it's life falling out from up under me. But, in 1989, the earthquake hit San Francisco and the Bay Bridge collapsed and people were crushed. People were falling into the water. And I remember watching that on the news. And I felt like shortly after that, my life fell apart that same way with my father passing.
Symbolically, you saw it and then related that to real time event.
Yeah. So I think that's when I talk about the Bay Bridges falling, I resonated with that literally.
Speak about and I just have these things written down. Street hustler.
I mean, business is hustling, and I think street hustlers are some of the greatest. The way they work a corner, a market, a stand, it applies every day to work. And, some of the greatest teachers are people that were hustlers in my childhood. So, when I look at business nowadays and I make decisions and I think about things, I always look at it from that perspective.
You have here written down, Pop sending a message.
I wrote that title, my father sending a message, my pop sending a message, was him sending Tina into my life. So my father was a huge Tina Turner fan.
And isn't her last name?
So when I met this young
whippersnapper,
hot blonde waitress, and she told me her name was Tina Turner.
Yeah.
It was interesting because right after that, I was in the kitchen and he loved Etta James, and an Etta James song came out on the radio. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
And I felt like he was like, pay attention to this girl.
Wow. Hey, real quick, we're going to plug this because Distillery 291 just popped in. If you want to be a sponsor on our podcast, 291, just let us know because, you know what I'm saying, we could put the bottle like right here and just promote all the time, and it would just be here on the live as well as on the playback. Because,
you know what?
You
also got to show some love to 291 this weekend, throwing some big parties, celebrating all their success. So make sure you guys follow Distillery 291. If you're local, go check them out. They're going to have some really cool stuff happening at the warehouse. And, I think oyster shucking might even be a part of that.
I would love to partake. You heard? All right, so I wrote this down. It says, and I don't know if it goes together, but it says, with this ring relationship through friendship. Does that ring a bell?
What was it?
It might be lonely. It might be together because it's scribbled. Loneliness and depression with this ring relationship through friendships.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
All right, let's keep it moving. Hey, it's called round robin for a reason, okay? All right, we did talk about, and I want to hop on this because I think this is an important topic that I always love. They talk about bedside company.
Yeah, man, I want real friends in my life. And if you're not someone that is going to be at my bedside when I'm at my sickest, then that's not a real friendship. That there's not as much effort needed for that relationship. So, when I'm putting a lot of time into the people I'm around, it's because, when I'm at my worst, they're right there. They ain't gone nowhere. So, every time I'm considering, my schedule, those people always get priority.
What about the pot sticker story?
My whole IG just shut down.
Look, y'all, what is going on
That was
today?
such a good statement. I closed down Instagram. I'm just saying.
Yo, what's crazy is like I don't know. This is the second week in a row your IG had a couple issues, but
it's just
you want to try it one more time, or we just gonna pass on it? All right, let's keep it moving because everybody else doesn't even know this. Everybody listening, I appreciate y'all. Everybody watching on the YouTube, give us a like, a comment, subscribe, or you know what I'm saying, give us a rating or something. All right, what about this one? Pot sticker story.
Yeah, so when I was like 5-6 years old, my father used to take me down to go get pot stickers. He loved gyoza, and when I was writing one of the chapters for the book, I was trying to think like, what's the earliest food recollection story, and it's going to get pot stickers with my dad. Right. So, you fast forward to traveling through China, you fast forward to opening Lucky Dumpling. All of that connects to that very first story.
Love it. Burning French fries, oil fires.
No.
Burning French fries? I don't know. Hey, all right. Well, I know I burnt some pizza. So, all right. How about a fluffy white hat?
Yeah. I mean, the chef hat, man. That's such a big piece of the chef's identity, or it was. I mean, I think a lot of chefs have kind of skipped them. But early in my career, when I was going to culinary school, we had to wear the fluffy baker hats. I hated those hats, man. You always try to like pull them sideways like your special forces or something, make them look cool.
And you're talking about the old school,
you have
hat.
two things. You have a toque, which is straight up, right? Yeah. And it usually has 100.
So I'm thinking of a toque.
Right? So a toque has 100 pleats, folds, which is how many ways you can cook an egg. That is why you're allowed to wear that hat.
Really? You know how to cook egg that many times?
I can, yes, sir.
Holy moly cannoli. I never knew that.
But baker's hats are more fluffy, kind of like the Pillsbury Doughboy. He wears a baker's hat. So in culinary school, we had to wear these fluffy white hats. So I think that chapter really resonates around being in culinary school and the life lessons that came with that time of my life.
Okay. Just for the people out in the world, like your connection with CCAP.
Yeah, so CCAP is a nonprofit out of New York, based in multiple cities across the country. They work with inner city youth and get them into the hospitality industry through culinary. So CCAP stands for Careers Through Culinary Arts Program. I'm an alumni of that program. I'm a graduate of that program. I got involved in that program when I was in high school. I earned a $30,000 scholarship. Went to culinary school because of that program. Found great mentors like Mr. Richard Grossman, Marcus Samuelson, and still to this day I stay involved with that program and try to help out where I can.
All right, and some of these stories, which I'm also proud of that I know some of these, but I'm gonna do it anyways for the podcast and our listeners. How about the story with climbing into the ovens?
Yeah.
That's what he's got for y'all people. Climbing into the ovens.
I had somebody hold me by my feet one time as I got into a
Did you lose your live feed? That's T.
Yeah.
So now we got to do it. Yeah. Bro, you gotta go ahead. We gotta fix it for T, because hey, look, for anybody who doesn't know, I just gotta give her a quick shout out. T is really the mastermind. I mean, brother he's a mastermind. But what did Sauce call her? Oh, the governor. T is the governor. So she said, "Did you lose your live feed?" And that's just a sign that we're going to connect back to IG Live for brother. And you know what I'm saying, we're going to finish through. But you know what I'm saying, these stories are all stories that I think would be valuable for Marcus to listen to. But you know what I'm saying, I don't know if the podcast is too much content for him. But maybe just while he runs or exercises, you know what I'm saying, just tell him listen to the podcast. He's going to get a whole bunch. So we got that documented. But I heard you take random mulligans when you play Dana. That's such a funny thing. I'd be talking junk because I be trying to beat brother, and I try to tell him the only way that I'm gonna be able to beat brother is if every shot he counts, plus if he tries to putt every putt and he gotta miss some, and then I might win. And then I might win. You know what I'm saying? I gotta play my best day.
No, I'm good. No, so sorry about that. We lost the IG feed somehow. Of course,
lost the
technology.
IG feed. You know what I'm saying?
But we're back, y'all.
We were talking about climbing in the ovens, but let's move on to the next one for our listeners. 40 years around the mountain. We spoke about that one time in a good story, but
yeah,
hit them with it.
Tina and I went through this journey where we kept moving to the same places over and over, thinking it was going to change us because we were new people in a new city.
Yeah.
And, we just kept rinsing and repeating and not realizing we were just walking around the mountain.
Yeah.
So, I think it just kind of goes back to you have to stop and realize, like, where are you actually walking? Are you walking in circles, or you actually walking forward and getting somewhere?
And like, speak about, because I'm just thinking about perseverance, because 40 years around the mountain, like, and perseverance, like there's some sort of connection there. Like, speak about that in terms of especially working with Tina. What you thinking? You're our favorite chef. What does it say? Meet yourself where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But just speak about perseverance in regards to that. Like, 40 years around the mountain going through that same stuff. How do you get out of that?
Well, I think at some point you kind of have to stop and question, where am I going and why am I walking? Am I walking just to walk, or do I actually have a destination? And, when you're trying to get to that destination, are you just driving in circles, or are you actually making the proper steps? So, I think a lot of people always relocate to new places, right? They move to a new city, they move to a new country because they want to be a different person.
Right.
But in reality, a change of environment never changed who you are.
I love it.
You're still you.
Right.
And that's something that it takes a lot of people a long time to learn, and that's why I think, 40 years around the mountain.
Oh, we're not plugged into the audio no more. My bad. I'll be interrupting, brother, but I'll just be noticing these things. But look, 40 years around the mountain is what he was saying, is you have to know where you're going. Otherwise, you're just spinning in circles and circles and circles. And I think that really goes to say a lot, because I know you've said this before, just in terms of like business and like lessons learned, like gas ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? So if you're just driving in circles and circles, like, you know what I'm saying, getting to that. My bad to interrupt. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, but I really think that's a big part is, you just because you go somewhere else doesn't mean it's going to change who you are. Like, you have to embrace you and start to deal with stuff internally, and you got to question yourself, which is one of the hardest parts. And for me, I traveled around the mountain many times. I think that's one of the hardest parts is, I've been cooking for 25 years at this point. Mm-hmm. And that's longer than some of my cooks been alive.
Dang, yeah.
And
I mean, shoot, I'm coming around there. Chill, settle down.
But it's still tough because they haven't been along with me for that ride. They don't know how many steps I've been taking around this mountain.
Right.
So it's natural to question it, because it's like, we're gonna come for you, chef. Well, okay, come for me, but you got a lot more steps to keep going. Yeah. Before you realize that the only person you can compare me to is me.
Right. My first thought is Madison. We had a chef. He's a what do they call him again? I don't know, the golf. 92 golf. So he's just training and learning from brother. He was like, yeah, I'm coming for brother. For brother.
He ain't been in the kitchen since. But no, I think that perseverance is just one of those things, and personally, like, that's what I feel like I'm being tested with is like, perseverance, like getting through these obstacles, setting these goals and maintaining finding some type of sanity within it, which, I always connect personally, my happiness is always gauged by my progress, and as long as I'm making some type of progress, and I'm pretty excited about it. But I do want to talk about this real quick, if it's okay. What you think? Are we okay to talk about? So we were talking about
like how we can leverage, this podcast moving forward. And I want to have this discussion openly, and this is just thoughts going out because this is my outline of what I've thought about. Because you can actually, have like ads pop up through your podcast, or you can ingrain the advertisement within the audio and the video.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, obviously we want to make sure we leverage this moving forward, and we also want to promote businesses and, do it the right way. But this will help us be able to create more content, as well as the Patreon, which is, revenue through, multiple sources. So that's kind of what we're thinking about in a business sense, because we're talking business. I think it's okay to share with everybody like how we're generating revenue, at least for my portions of it with the studio, which is through the classes, through the podcast, and through the Patreon, creating content and video. And then also I kind of want to bring this up because I think it kind of connects to the Patreon, like, having that personal connection to, the why behind the Patreon, because ultimately we're trying to help each other. And like that person that's going to be hired would be, hiring me to create more content, or fulfilling that role through, another video creator that I can help, facilitate. At any rate, it helps us with this mission that we're on, which is creating content. So I want to run this by you, and this is open. Brother has never heard about this yet, but this is the sponsorships with ads. Okay. So I'm thinking like we could have a 1-minute ad. They'll send us the script. They'll give us the logos and a call to action. Yep. And I'm just thinking $1,000 would get us to even play $1,000 for a sponsor. What does that get you? 6 minutes of ads. Yeah. It's over 3 months. So you're on every other week, because we do a podcast every week. And that gives the ability to just get in. Like these podcasts will be played forever. And your reach, I mean, with your social medias is crazy. But just in terms of like benefit of a business, I think that's pretty fair. Yeah. So 6 minutes of advertisements over 3 months. It is a 3-month agreement. Yep. And it's $1,000 for the entire thing. It's not $1,000 every month. It's $1,000 for the entire thing. Yep. So it's 6 minutes.
That makes total sense.
All right.
And it's interesting because I get hit up all the time from marketing companies or advertising companies of like, hey, we want you to advertise in our magazine, or do you want to put your restaurant on a coupon or the back of a receipt? Right. And my thing is, I feel like we live in such a digital world. This is such a platform of working with brands that have reached on digital areas like social media, YouTube. I'd rather put money into something like that. Yeah. Then put it into something that's going to, come out of a mailbox and go into the recycling bin. Right. I feel like you lose a lot of money because it doesn't have the reach that you think. Like,
it lives through audio. Yeah. I mean, think about Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It lives on video through YouTube. Well, and especially the playback value, like on Facebook and IG.
Yeah. And I think for anyone who's interested, like if you go to chefbrotherluck.com. And you actually go into the About section. We have a full press kit.
I love this.
We have a full press kit that was put together that actually shows our reach. And I think that was something that was really impressive to me. Just here in the Colorado Springs market, we're reaching 70% of the community.
I love it. That's huge.
You're talking that's 600 something thousand. Right, that's a lot of people.
And wait till like they get in front of the podcast, like and then the back trail, because that's what I love about the idea of advertising in a podcast, is because it is content and it lives forever within that domain. Like
I listen to them all the time because I listen to a few other podcasts, and they work with some of the other food vendors, so it's like the Pellegrino one pops up and
yep. All right, look real quick. I want to say this: if you're on IG or if you're on Facebook, if you guys got questions, throw them in the chat. We'll make sure we pick up the questions. I got one for you, brother. As a fellow cook, what do you enjoy cooking, what do you hate to cook?
I would say the things that I love cooking. I love making gumbo. It's just something special. It's a very emotional dish. Something that I hate to cook. That's a tough one. I hate cooking rice.
Rice? Yeah. Man, that's my favorite thing.
I know. I like rice cookers. They're just, you push the button, you walk away.
I used to like the, man, I shouldn't say this on live, but I used to have rice cooker, and then I just forgot that I cooked rice in it. And then once it was looking that yucky, I just threw it out anyways. So now I cook in a pot, and I just put it up there. All right, so here's a question for me. You ready?
Yeah.
I got a culinary question. When you cook your rice, all right, and this is for me, y'all. All right, don't laugh at how basic I am. All right, I just put the water in there, close it with the rice. I don't add no seasoning.
Yeah.
What do you season your rice, and how would you recommend me switch up my recipe? Because I don't use nothing but water and rice. I do rinse it, y'all. I do rinse the rice.
It really depends on the preparation. You know, what are you using the rice for? I would say, an easy solution is to use some chicken base or beef base or broth, or if you're fancy like I am, you just make the stock. But most people just have bouillon cubes sitting in their cabinet. I mean, that's usually what's kind of sitting up there. And when you think about a bouillon cube, I mean, essentially it's the same thing that's in your ramen packet, right?
Yeah. So you showed me what those cubes are.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
But, I actually like to make my stocks, my chicken stocks or my beef stocks, and I actually like to freeze them in ice cube trays.
Right.
That way I can always pop out a small amount from the freezer and use that, because that'll flavor your water. That'll be your broth. Or you can just buy some nice like Swanson's chicken broth or veg broth. But veg stock's easy, man. Veg stock's one of the easiest things you can make.
So help me out real quick, because I'm a little basic. So are you just replacing the water that I'm using with the stock? Is that the correlation?
Yeah, you're just subbing out. Think about it. What tastes better, stock or water?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Probably the stock.
The stock, because it's got aromatics. It's usually got some kind of
okay, so it's just a substitute. I'm not just
what happened was when I was making hollandaise one time, right? And I was making this hollandaise and I was getting ready to thin it out.
Yeah.
And the chef goes, I was like, well, I'm gonna go grab some hot water. And the chef goes, no, I'll grab some wine. I was like, why wine? He goes, what tastes better?
Wine or water?
Yeah.
All right. I like that. That was a good one. All right, so this is John. He says podcasts are easier to share right away rather than cutting coupons out and passing them along.
Totally. We live in a digital age, and I think more companies are realizing the power of social media and digital platforms, and also advertising through those networks. So, when you are able to get with someone who's got a large following, I mean, we have a pretty decent following. That's just growing, and it's going to continue to grow. Now think about it. It might be 30,000 a day, but all it takes is one crazy pop, and then all of a sudden you're at 100,000. So now you have the opportunity to be on a platform where somebody's got tons and tons of viewership, and they're paying attention. I mean, I love the clips that you were doing lately.
They coming.
I wish you would just send me the clips.
I got you.
Instead of just put them online, because I had to sit there and like record them over.
No. I got you. No, this is good. Because I'm on it. Because what I'm doing right now is doing the titles for all those. So I have a bunch, and I love that you love them. All right.
Yeah.
How do you get over being OCD about getting every little piece of drop into and out of the pan? Do you get that every little piece or drip or drop in or out of the pan?
I mean, a rubber spatula is always the way to go.
Use
a rubber spatula just to get it out.
All right, this is John again. He said, do you measure your rice with your finger or do you do it by the cups?
Yeah, that one line.
Line
that's the
finger
grandma
trip.
trick. That's the grandma trick. That
all
one line.
All right.
Right there.
I love it. I can't stop.
But usually it's like 2 to 1.
Myself over that. Can't stop tormenting myself over that. And so you said the 2 to 1 ratio.
Yeah,
2 to 1 ratio is a fair rule.
2 to 1. Up here at Elevation, we usually go 1 to 1.5, but I think 2 to 1.
All right, I'm gonna just call myself out because I didn't realize this till right now. We had a little hiccup with the start of the podcast. I didn't even turn the light on. Look. We don't.
I was wondering why it's so dark.
We don't even have the light on, and I'm gonna have to boost that camera up because it's so dark on the cameras.
It's because I gave you the Sunday night Barry White vibes, and I was like, hello.
It's all right. We're gonna make do. All right. So these are the other tiers that I have that I want to throw at you.
Okay.
So the second tier would be every week for a minute instead of every other week.
Mm-hmm.
So it would total up to 12 minutes.
Okay.
So it'd be the same concept of 1 minute. Instead of every other week, you'd have everyone. So that's 4 episodes in a month.
Yeah.
For 3 months, that's 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 12 minutes of content for $3,000. That gets you a discount. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the last one that I came up with is if you want it, because we could do in the beginning and the end, but be twice per episode. You get 24 minutes, and that's 5,000. This is a one-time payment for a 3-month, agreement with No Lux Given. We're gonna promote your product, your business, whatever that looks like, and we want to make sure we introduce this. This is a rough draft of sponsorships. What are you thinking? Tell me your thoughts.
I think it's so smart, and I was really bummed that the guest that we were gonna have tonight wasn't able to get here on time. Because this is his expertise.
This is up his. I wrote it, and I had a business meeting with a young lady who we're kind of thinking about the same things because she's doing a podcast and wants to get the funding. And I was like, hey, I got this idea, and we're kind of working it out. So when you hit me and told me that specific gentleman was going to be on this podcast, I was like, that's like got him. Right up my. Here's right now, I need that.
I'm gonna drop some game right now. At the end of the day, any business who is trying to figure out how to get ahead, right, get better customer base, try to do well successfully, right, financially, whatever they're trying to do. At the end of the day, it's about anticipating the market, right? I'm on the corner of Wasatch in Colorado because I'm anticipating this market becoming what it's going to be,
right?
Then it pays off. So at the end of the day, when you think about that, when it comes to advertising, you want to be a part of something before it's too late because today's price ain't tomorrow's price. You know what I mean? and I think that's the biggest thing is that, we're being consistent and we're out there doing this. And I can't wait.
That's why I'm glad to have the conversation.
I can't wait to share some of the ideas that I got. I'm not going to tell them on camera yet. Yeah. I'm going to tell you afterwards, but we got some cool stuff coming up. And these are ideas that are like aha moments, and we're going to be able to take you along the ride with us digitally.
Yep.
And trust me, y'all going to wish you come with us.
Right.
But we got some really cool stuff planned out that we're working on for the future. And I think as that grows and as this grows,
they're
going to grow together.
And beautiful.
Yeah. I think if you had the opportunity to do it when we're just really getting this thing going. I mean, we're 22 episodes in, but we're starting to get a rhythm now.
Yeah, we're getting consistency. We're having expectations.
Yeah.
We have a standard. And also I think we have a following. Like people understand what we're aiming to do, which is, chop it up every week. We want to talk through things and learn and also inspire somebody, motivate them. Because, the founding principles of No Lux Given, just so everybody knows, is pride, courage, perseverance, and determination. And I think that we speak about these things through our life lessons and, the topics that we discuss. And honestly, one of my buddies was saying this, like, I don't know where you get some of the content where what we talk about. Like, it's, not exactly 100% entrepreneur because we're human beings, what I'm saying? And I think that's what I love about this podcast is, we have that open platform to do whatever the hell we want. Like right now, like if you guys wanted to ask questions, like this is the time where we can engage with you guys. And I think what's coming soon is the opportunity to make some phone calls with some followers.
Absolutely.
Like, engaging in that way. Maybe we have different questions like that. I want to make sure that we discuss this because this is for the people who are subscribing to our Patreon, like going through footage with you together, looking at footage, going through that, making exclusive content there. And that'll be a show of its own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like looking at that, telling stories. And because I do have a behind the scenes episode of the first wine dinner that was cooked here for Patreon. So if you're listening and you're on the Patreon, expect that here coming this week. Because I got that done, and also a highlight video that's exclusive to Patreon. We're going to release those.
And next week, we're really just trying to lock down the timing with some of the other events that are going on up here. But next week, I want to do the pasta class for the Patreon followers. So we're going to make pasta from scratch, and we're going to make some sauce, and we're just going to have a fun pasta class.
And
so
just for everybody listening, we're talking about, what we're trying to do in terms of content creation for the people who love and support us, which is you can be a monthly subscriber through Patreon. So if you just go to Patreon is patreon.com/Chef Brother Luck. And you could be on Team Luck. And you know what I'm saying? You get that exclusive content.
Well, and the cool part too is and I think, as we are always transparent with what we're doing.
Yes, that's why I love this platform.
You have to think like we're in the middle of building something really special between this podcast, between the digital, between all the social media.
Between the book, the documentary.
Like we're doing a lot of really big stuff that when that stuff takes off, it's going to be amazing. But right now, we still have to hustle on the side, right? So I hustle in my restaurants and doing my catering, and you hustle on the video.
Hustling with the videos, here and there.
But this is a way for people to be a part of what we do and actually support us, to free us up to continue to do this kind of stuff, because this allows us to hire the people to come help. Right. That's the biggest challenge. That's it. The editing, the filming, the recording, the sound, all those things take time, and we do so much in a day. You have to grow the company, right? You know, I had somebody tell me today, they were like, you know, what y'all doing right now is a passion project. You need to actually put some numbers behind it to call it an actual business. Yeah. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So that's one of the exciting pieces of this, is that we're at the very beginning of this business, and I can't wait for it to just take off, because I believe it. I know it. And, you know, the people that rock with us early on, that's the ones that we definitely won't forget.
Right. Because you know, what did you say? Yesterday's price is not today's price. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, when it happens, we just want to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Episode 22 on today's date. You know what I'm saying? We talked about it. So, look, that's my idea with sponsorships. You know what I'm saying? And that's one way that we're, you know, creating, you know, some sustainability around this place.
Absolutely.
And my other topic that I want to bring up, which is really just an open conversation with you, in regards to getting a day so we can kind of plan out some courses. What do you think about that? Like, you know, I know we had a day scheduled. It was like a half a day. What about like a full day we could dedicate? I know you over there thinking, where can I get a full day? Where can I get a full day? Yeah. You already know my life, Danny Keith. Anyways, like, I want to make sure we get those courses, because like we're pretty close. I want to get to 10 before we launch it. What do you think? We could launch it, I mean, as 3, but you know, I want to get to 10 so they have options. They can actually shop.
No, and it's really just scheduling the time. I mean, we keep having crazy things come up and throwing, you know, hindrances in the way, and that's one of the things that, you know, as we talk about time management,
and persevering through
the tough times. You know, a lot of it is really saying, you know, where is my time spent, and is that sensible? Does that make sense for me? So, you know, I'm actually reviewing a lot of things that, you know, I want to free up some time. I want to be able to focus a little bit more on a couple other things. You can't do everything at 100%, so you got to kind of pick and choose. So really, it's just finding the right time and scheduling it and blocking it out. But you know,
what about some thoughts on some dishes? Can I pick your brain there? What you thinking?
I mean, I that's the problem. My brain's so crazy. I be thinking stuff and be like, nah, that don't sound good. But, you know, I think there could be some really good stuff in there. I think like a good braise, like we're getting ready to go into holiday season. So that would be a good series in itself. Like Thanksgiving's coming up. So, you know, how do I cook my turkey? How do I make my stuffing? How do I make my cranberry? How do I make my sweet potatoes?
That could be a Thanksgiving special.
I mean, you could literally build a whole class around that.
Thanksgiving.
You know, it is fall time, so I'm getting ready to start testing a lot of the dishes I just wrote for Lucky Dumpling, for 4. Yeah. So I got a whole new menu rolling out of 4 in about 2 weeks, and I started working on some of those dishes on Saturday. I did them for a private group up here on Saturday. But that would be fun to kind of see behind the scenes, like how did Brother Luck create this dish? Yeah. And then how did it come together? Yep. So, you know, one of them I did was the idea started as a horchata pork dish. And they were like, Chef, we want to do horchata, you know, and you're like, okay, like I could see it, like almonds and milk and cinnamon and rice. And, you know, it makes sense in my head. So, you know, it kind of turned into this pork chop, which was brined. So there's a technique how to brine a pork chop. But it was brined with all those spices of cinnamon and star anise and clove, and then we did a really nice creamy rice, almost like a risotto style, but with almond milk.
So I love almond milk.
Right? So I had that beautiful creamy texture underneath of it, and then on top we did this applesauce, but it was infused with guajillo chilies and all this you know, beautiful red apples, all these fall flavors. So it was a really fun dish to do that. And then on top, I just gratinate this asadero cheese and charred onion and scallion and roasted garlic on top. So, you know, as you kind of ate it, you had this applesauce with these chilies that went right into this creamy cheese sauce that cut into this brine pork chop, which finished with this rice. And all that started was the idea of horchata. But it ate really fun. It was really unique.
this is a cool question because it kind of folds right into that. So you're saying you have a new menu. John says, do you have a soft opening with the new menu, or do you just throw it out there, see what happens? Like, how do you test it out? What's your process with testing out new menus?
So my process with testing out new menus is I utilize my chef tables or my small parties. So the dinners I do up here in the studio, which are 10 to 20 people, those are great opportunities to try out the new dishes. So I'll work through them on a much smaller scale, and then I'm ready to execute them on a larger scale, which is mass produced for the restaurants. At 4, we used to do them on the chef's tables all the time.
Right.
So that was where we would, and this would be months at a time where we're writing dishes and we're trying stuff out. And we're like, okay, that's good. Like a perfect example is Chef Mike created that gazpacho dish, which is one of my favorite dishes on the menu right now but that came from a chef table he did a couple months ago at the beginning of the season. So,
where he was just playing with ingredients, playing with stuff, and it was so good that it made the menu.
It makes the menu. So okay. I like to use the dinners up here as actually an opportunity. So like I'm cooking tomorrow night for a group up here. And, it's literally going to be more of me taking those dishes from Saturday that I already started playing with and then tweaking them and refining them and serving them again. So now it gives me a second run on all these dishes that I just wrote.
Right, and you're constantly curating and creating, fine-tuning these dishes with different things, throwing different spins on it, from your experience. Okay, I love that. That's a great question, John. I love that a lot. All right, so we talked about, we ran through a, what do we call it, a fast, whatever the hell, a bunch of topics today. Mm-hmm. We talked about sponsorships.
Yeah.
And then I think the last thing is more of like the documentary, like, those are the pieces. But first, before we go there, how is writing your book? I want to check in with you. How's been writing the book personally? Like, how's it been with, this past few weeks? Where are you at with it? How are you feeling?
I mean, it's been tough because I've had a rough couple weeks. Obviously losing one of our team members and having to step into a production role. Plus, 2 restaurants are extremely busy. And all the challenges that come with that.
Yeah.
A lot of my time has been dedicated to that. But I've been trying to find time to write. I had a really good writing session on the plane ride back. It was funny. I was sitting there talking to our GM, and I had like 10 menu proposals to write. And I've been trying to find time all week to get them done. He's been on me, Chef, we need these done. We need these done. Chef, we need these done. And I'm like, man, I just don't have the time to sit down on a computer and get it done. Like, I'm just go all day long and constant, problem solving. So I knew I was flying to Chicago, and I know the flight's 2.5 hours from Colorado Springs. So, I started thinking about, I'm like, I'm just going to upgrade my seat to first class, and it'll give me 2.5 hours of comfort to just write. So I flew first class to Chicago and just wrote all those menu proposals and got them done. And it took such a weight off my shoulders. On my flight home, I was able to work on chapters with the book. So, you got to find that time. Sometimes you just got to upgrade to first class to do it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Hey, no, but think about it. Like, when I was thinking about it, like the price on it was $179 to upgrade the seat, right?
Right. But how much
money
did
I make off of those menus that I wrote?
Yeah.
Because they're about to bring in a lot more revenue. Tina says no, but
no.
I got a lot of work done.
No,
it was awesome.
But it brings up an interesting topic, because we talked about it, in the past. But like, you want to make sure that you live in some sense, you live by your means, right? Mm-hmm. But you also want to make sure that you take care of your mind, your body, and soul. And maybe that is a first class seat so you can clear your brain, feel a little bit better, get more done,
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, and be more productive. So what did it cost you again? Like $200?
$179.
So let's call it $200, right? You wrote 10 menus, is that right?
Yeah, that I would have paid that for valet, Tina.
Bro, 10 menus. I think you come out on top in that scenario.
I do
you know what I'm saying? On the flip side, when I heard it the first time, my dad missed his flight and then demanded first class, which is hilarious. And he was in the first class calling me on the phone. Hey, Dana, what you doing? I'm like, if you don't get your ass off the phone in first class, you just trying to be bougie.
Nah,
anyways.
You know what? Sometimes you need comfort. And, I'm a big guy, so
amen. But you got things done, which is dope.
Absolutely.
All right, I love that a lot. All right, let's keep going because we're venturing close into our what are we at 9 so 10, 11, 12, our 3 month marker before the end of the year. We got some big goals before the end of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Many.
So my thing is I do want to just pick your brain because you know what I'm saying, I might take a trip to Arizona because I hear the fan band, you know what I'm saying, and I might take my golf clubs, you know what I'm saying. But what other interviews do you think we should hit? Because I'm thinking, T's fam. I want to interview T. I want to interview like the Joes, Shelley's of the world. But what other interviews do you think like could be advantageous to the story that we're aiming to tell?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely gotta get my mom.
Your mom. Oh, I can do that ASAP. Yeah, so let's get your mom. What any others that come to your mind?
I don't know. I usually
I'm gonna get your mom next week.
It depends kind of what the story is you're trying to tell. Is it more work based or is it more personal? And I think that kind of will push you into the people that you need to chat with.
Well, I think I do want to hit the personal side. And this is where, obviously film will tell the story and we've documented on No Less Given. I think we have a good idea of what the outline could be.
Yeah.
But there are different stories to tell. And that's my favorite piece because in the beginning of this whole venture, I was always super courageous and just setting, wild goals and stuff. But I've always said that I think I have 3 documentaries like to tell.
Yeah.
Like, one is more of like your hustle, and I think that one blends into like the Top Chef and travel. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a lot of exclusive footage that's documented on all those aspects.
That should be the last one because we got some ideas.
So then I think, the other one is more of like the personal, like how we got here. I think it kind of ends with the understanding of where you're at right now.
I think we're building a series.
And then the third one, I always said this is just me thinking out loud, y'all. I want to make sure that y'all know I just be thinking out loud. The third one is more of like my view of you from my point of view. And it's through a series of, interviews, but like it's my spin. Like, don't get me wrong. It's of you, but you have no approval on this one because it's just like my view of you. It's nobody else's view. And I think that like, that's a great story that I want to share.
It's just going to be narrated in
It's
laughter.
going to be narrated and I'm going to be cutting up because, you know what I'm saying? But I think that, I have a great,
it's like you eating food on the video you just posted.
Right. Yeah. Where I'm just taste testing. This is good. That's so funny. But look, those are my ideas. So like, I think we have an idea of where we're going with it. But anybody like that comes out of your mind, like, because, I think of Sauce, obviously. I think those are close interviews. And obviously team members, those are good interviews.
Yeah.
But anybody I'm missing, that's what I kind of want to, I still get approval. T, you want to know something? That is so funny. Can I share a story? I've never shared this before. So I've always had, fun making film for brother. But there was one time where I was like, I'm going to start this documentary. And I started it with a hilarious intro, but it was with Tina's interview. That T was like, yo, you cannot use this interview. And I was just like, oh no, this is a great intro. This is a great intro to the documentary. But we got to get T's interview as well. So that's a good one too. Yeah. So but the question goes back. Am I missing anybody?
I think you've kind of hit the core people. I mean, my 12 is my 12.
All right.
Maybe some of the spiritual people, but I think you've gotten the most of the people.
All right. That just gives me the soothing.
My circle. You're around enough to.
I think we got a good idea, man. I got a good game plan. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for October in specific because I think that's the month that I'll be able to really tackle this monster. And get a good idea of where we're at for the last 2 months to clean it up.
I'm just trying to survive September.
And meanwhile, okay, I want to talk about something because we got about 10 more minutes, and I've been reinvesting into equipment. So I got some new stuff, and that's kind of why I want to make sure because now my interview game is going to be on the next level.
Okay.
But let's talk about, investing because, one thing that I have as a business owner, that I'm going through right now that I just, openly will share with people, what I'm saying is when I get money, I hate to spend it because I don't want to be back where I was.
Yeah.
Help me get over that fear and talk me through what you think of when I say that. I'm just being open. This is a random topic.
No, I mean, nest eggs are important. And I think Tina was the one that really kind of put it in my head, like, you need to have 3 months at least, if not 6 months worth of expenses saved up. And that's something that's extremely important. But at the same time, you also need to have good income streams, things that are generating money in different areas. So, it doesn't have to just be stock market or investments like 401ks or mutual funds. It can be businesses that you're a part of, or, events that you're doing. Back when I used to work for hotels, I used to always have cooking classes that I would teach at Williams-Sonoma or other cooking stores, because I would always make, a couple $100s when I would teach them.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just, if I wanted something, I knew I could go teach a class and I could get it. And I think that's something that's just kind of started that process, is like, when you make a little bit of bank, you got to question, like, what can I do to invest it to actually make me some more?
Right.
So, that's a big piece. I mean, look at the studio. We put a decent chunk of change into this place. But I mean, when you look at the revenue it's generating,
it makes sense.
It makes total sense, because you're quickly on your way back to break even,
and then profit.
But then, at the end of the day, you start making profit on it.
All right, I got to read this because this is a long one. And I got to read it quick before it goes away. It says, thank you for all your work you're doing, especially in the mental health, informing, opening the hard conversations. I've been a chef for 40 years, and I really admire you for both professionally and personally.
Man, that means a lot. Mental health is something I'm always going to talk about, and I'm always going to be open about, because I've been in the darkness for a long time, and I hid it really well.
Yeah.
And sometimes I couldn't hide it, and the people closest to me knew it, but I wouldn't share it.
Yeah.
And that
That's
was
deep.
That was one of the hardest parts of my life. And I realized that, constantly having those check-ins is so important. I told Tinas the other day, we were talking, I was just like, I just want you to know, I want to make sure I'm telling you where I'm at.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm struggling. Here's how I'm feeling. Here's where I'm at. And I think more people need to do that. More people need to hear that, and also not be ashamed of it. There's nothing wrong with not feeling like you're in control, because you're not.
Right.
Things are the hardest when you try to control everything.
Right.
And, you gotta have faith. You gotta trust. You gotta have a good support system, good circle. And it's so real. I think that's a piece that a lot of people just don't talk about. There's just a lot of fear there.
It's a pillar on what you stand on. So that's one thing I love about you. And one thing that T did say is, she said that we still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, we still don't know what we're doing.
Which is dope. So it says, who competed on
Chop?
Chop on Food Network with you? Who competed on Chop on Food Network with you?
I don't remember. There was a couple chefs. I know one of the chefs I competed against who won. He was a chef up in Boulder at the Flagstaff House. So shout out to him. He won.
This one says, as a chef, we help our crews, and we aren't qualified, but we try.
Yeah,
I think that's the important thing. Hey, real quick, I gotta mention this because this is the funniest thing. Comment of the night. Chico, my cousin, says, how's Dana's cooking skills?
Mm-hmm.
If brother hired him, would you put him in the kitchen?
I would.
Look,
I think Dana would quit the first day.
Nah, hell no. I think to be real with you,
Dana would look at me and be like, "Who you talking to?"
This will be this will be something funny for like our Patreon viewers.
Uh-huh.
So like when we hit 100 subscribers,
I'll teach you a class.
I'm gonna work in the kitchen in Lucky Dumpling. And I'm gonna vlog it.
Okay.
And I you know what? That is such a good thing.
I think that'd be a fun one. I think I think you'd be a much better bartender.
Hashtag Basquiat. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Those are for all my followers.
You know what? You've actually worked the floor, and you're a phenomenal host. I remember we had one night at Lucky Dumpling where we were getting rocked. We had just finished up a podcast. We were getting so busy. and I jumped on the line, and you jumped into service
Yeah.
and started hosting.
Yep.
And you were the greatest host.
Yeah.
That I'm not
gonna
everyone
lie.
was like,
I'm not gonna lie, like that's fun to me. You know what I'm saying? Is being the
You're a
people
person.
person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm so good until they ask me about the menu, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, shit, you got me. You pulled my card.
Yeah. You know,
But I did hop in. That's fun.
I want to touch real quick back on that comment that as a chef, we help our crew and
we aren't qualified,
but we try. There's a lot of great organizations coming out with some good content, and they are professionals. They do have, different psychologists and therapists who are involved with their organizations. Not 9 to 5 is a great page to follow website. They've put together some really good handbooks as far as like how to deal with mental health in the restaurant industry. I've really loved what they've done. So I would check out Not 9 to 5. That's a good one. You also have CHOW, the Colorado Hospitality Outreach and Wellness.
I love that you're doing this.
They're a program out of Denver. They've been doing some amazing stuff. I've been able to sit in on a few of their different panels and some of their discussions, and I know they're trying to branch out down to here to Colorado Springs. Just to have some, outlets for cooks and bartenders and servers and dishwashers, just to be able to talk.
Yeah.
So that's another good stuff that I would check out. So CHOW is another one that I would suggest. And then anything Patrick Mulvaney's doing in Sacramento. He is an amazing person, and what he's done with suicide in this industry and really raising awareness and talking about it and trying to find resources and help, he's got some really good stuff. So I would definitely check him out as well.
Yo, that's beautiful. Thank you for doing that. I want to personally thank you for doing that, because we do have listeners, and, in the culinary world, it's big. Like, and I'm not in it kind of like Chico was saying, like, I might be the hostess to the mostest, I'm saying? I'm outside the kitchen for the most part, but inside the kitchen world, like, mental health is something that, saying, it's a stigma because most people don't talk about because chefs are tough, saying? And then you go through it. My sister is one of the pivotal things of the reason why me and brother even encountered one another is she showed him one of my music videos. But even my sister, and I'm just going to openly say this, I love my sister, but she struggled with like mental health in the world of culinary. And I feel like, she was so tough, and that's something like, as a chef, you put on your chef coat, but you also carry those qualities of, get it done. You're like in the back of the kitchen, back of the house, like, you're kind of in the trenches.
Well, that's the thing when it comes, especially when it comes to servers and restaurants and bartenders and servers and bartenders and cooks. At the end of the day, everyone in the restaurant industry deals with very high level stress. We're juggling a lot of things at once. There's a lot of things happening. You're trying to keep things straight. The pressure is unbearable sometimes. Plus you're being vulnerable because you're putting yourself out there. Right. I put my soul on a menu and I let people judge it every night in the restaurant. And some people are extremely brutal, and it hurts, and I think that's something that's so real, is that, for as tough as this industry portrays itself, a lot of us are on the verge of breaking.
I agree.
And we're hiding it, and it's internal. So, you turn to the wrong things, and, you find the medications that numb you.
Yeah.
So you can just embrace it again. And
that's our next topic. Habits and vices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's our next topic.
Yeah. I mean, it's
habits and vices.
It's tough, man. I mean, I'm going through it, and I think that's...
Me too. I'm going through it in my real life.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's so real for people just to know, is like, don't get caught up in this social media piece where you think my life's perfect and, I'm some celebrity chef and
that's
all
dope.
I get to do is all these cool things. Like, I get to do cool stuff, but at the end of the day, like, I'm still dealing with everything you dealing with. And
I love it. That's a beautiful message. Hey, real quick, I do want to say this. Chico, my cousin, says my grandpa was a great cook, so I'm gonna get in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna learn how to cook. I want to ask this last question, and then want to wrap it up. Would you rather teach an up and coming chef or critique someone who is already have the title chef? What do you enjoy better? I think I know the answer to that one.
Yeah, no, I just love to teach anybody who's willing to listen.
Right.
Here's the thing: I've been cooking a long time. I don't know nothing.
Church, I love that. That's a message in its own. Go ahead, finish your thought. My bad.
You know, when you're a cook with no experience, you know, you're a clean slate. You just got to be willing. We've had some great cooks that have come from, you know, off the streets.
Right.
But you know, if you got a chef who's humble and, you know, is just willing to learn and ask questions and there for the right reasons. I mean, this is why, you know, I was so excited to eat at a restaurant like Esme. Like, I just want to learn. I want to see what he's doing, and I want to understand. And, you know, for
what's
me,
working, learn something.
For me, that was such a good lesson.
That's dope.
You know, and I think that's so important. So, you know, don't be afraid to teach anybody.
I love it. Hey, real quick, I do want to make sure we mention this. If you're watching on YouTube, I apologize, y'all. I forgot to hit the like. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a little not the best for this episode. But I do want to say, look, thank y'all for listening. Thank you. If y'all on audio, if y'all watching on IG, Facebook, it doesn't matter. We thank you for being fans, lovers, supporters. Well, like, we couldn't do this without y'all, you know what I'm saying, first and foremost. But I do want to make sure that I say this. Like, if you're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, give us a like, comment, subscribe, give us a rating, something positive, show love. We thank you for all of that and more. If you do want to, you know, be one of our members and one of our Team Luck, you know, subscribers and supporters on a monthly basis, that's patreon.com/Chef Brother Luck. And then you got a website, bro, chefbrotherluck.com. We don't say that enough to promote here.
That website is beautiful.
I do want to make sure I promote that here as well. But we're on our outro. I always like to give our listeners something to take home, something to listen to. You know, we didn't have a specific topic. I kind of jumped around through topics, you know, about the documentary and about some ideas. But I just want to, you know, maybe spin it this way. If you could give somebody a tip or advice this week from your experiences that you're enduring in your real life, okay, what tip or advice would you give them?
I think when it feels the hardest, that's when you're being challenged the most.
I love that.
And you have to find a way to just fight through it and find the great stuff and trust your strengths. You know, I like that. That's something that's so important. We're all great at what we're great at. And you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, but trust those strengths because God gave you those strengths and you have to use them when you're going through your trials and your tribulations. So I think that's something that's extremely important when you're in the struggle is rely on the strengths that God gave you.
Ooh, that's heat. That's a gem. Drop the mic. Look, man, that's tough to follow, but I'm actually going to spin this one because I think my tip or advice, I actually posted online today, which was just saying like, you know, it's easy to give up. It's easy to quit. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely easy to like, you know, just live as is, like whatever life is going to give me, whatever. And I felt like that and I've been there, you know what I'm saying? But it takes, you know, a special somebody to actually get up and still continue to stride towards their goal, towards their dream. And it takes somebody who, you know, is trying to be disciplined, you know, and dedicated. You know what I'm saying? So my message, if I could give anybody a tip or advice through my experience of what I'm going through this week, is actually, you know, I'm proud of you. I'm applauding you. Like I want to be the person cheering for you personally, brother, as well as anybody else that's you know, striving for something positive and productive in their own life. And the only message I got is keep going, like fail to success. And, you know, we're going to do that. So that's my thought process behind that. And that's what I want to leave y'all before we take off.
Yeah.
Look, y'all, This is No Looks Given podcast. My name is Dana Keith. You can find me on IG, official Dana Keith, or everywhere else, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Just type in Dana Keith. That's DANAKEITH. And I got my co-host here, the official. Well, you're not official online, but you are the official Brother Luck. Chef Brother Luck in the building. Go ahead and give them where they can follow you at.
Nah, you can check me out at Chef Brother Luck across the board. So hit me up.
Look, first and foremost, brother, I always want to say this. Thank you, brother. I love you, man. Thanks for this week, your time. I know you got a lot going on. I do want to send this last message. We love you. You know what I'm saying? As No Love Given. Peace. The man behind the hustle and grind. This is pride, courage, determination, and perseverance. Welcome to No Looks Given.